Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect Akim, teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This Yahweh Shai. Today's lesson is entitled Free and Bond to Receive a Mark. And Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and his beloved Son in the Paleo Hebrew. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, to use the gospel preached. So this is a MOTB update. All right. MOTB is an acronym for Mark of the Beast. All right. Which that mark that this beast is going to push is an implantable device that go under the skin, and with it you'll be able to buy and sell and identify yourself in this world to come. All right. And as always, with these lessons, we prioritize giving warning to the Lord's sheep about the said perils that will surely come to pass. All right. Our focal point is prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. And oftentimes, we may cover the same topics a bunch of times. All right. In fact, when you read the scripts, that's the vibration of the Heavenly Father. He constantly reiterates the same thing over and over. When you read Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, it speaks about how the children of Israel is a stiff heart and a rebellious nation. All right. So, one of the things that the Lord do is he drills these points in so it can stick. All right. I got this article from the Telegraph. It says, put M chips in prisoners to track them, tech bosses told ministers, which just lines up with biblical prophecy. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this article, and Lord willing, the sincere members of the hopeful elect will be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I'm going to start over here with Google. I put prisoners to get microchip, seeing brothers speaking on it. So I'm like, let me do some research and see what I can find. Maybe I can speak on it too. So an AI overview says the concept of implanting M chips. All right, you see the word there. We got to be strategic on these lessons because some of these words are buzzwords, which is when it's said, it'll trigger Esau's algorithms, and next thing you know your video is deleted and your channel is removed. So, just keep up. The concept of implanting M chips into prisoners is an ongoing speculative debate. While not currently standard penal policy, it has been discussed by lawmakers and technology developers as potential method for monitoring high-risk offenders, preventing escapes, and managing prison populations. All right, recent proposals and discussions, the UK, United Kingdom technology leaders and contractors pitched the concept of subcutaneous tracking. Subcutaneous, what does that mean? Let's go ahead and pull it up real quick. Let's go here. And to the newly tuning in, brothers and sisters, it's always good to go into these words, man. Don't just pass up a word and not know what it's talking about. All right, the Lord is raising up wise men and prudent men. All right, so we got to apply these things that we've learned from our leadership. So when we are reading, we're able to understand what's being said.
Subcutaneous
means under the skin. All right. Subcutaneous means under the skin. So subcutaneous tracking. So under the skin tracking. To Ministry of Justice officials suggesting it could assist with real-time behavioral management. So what does that look like? Behavioral management. The word manage means to control. Your behavior is, your spirit, your personality, how you going about things. So, all right, this technology that go under the skin, these people can control a person's behavior in real time. Basically, have a tablet and press some buttons and have a person chill the fuck out. All right, and what that's gonna do is limit the need of correctional officers and police in the prison systems. All right, so let's continue on. And monitoring the prison leavers. Official policy has not been established, but the discussions remain under consideration. United States. which United States was born out of the UK. UK is the mother of America. Lawmakers, including the New York State Senator, have previously proposed using implanted GPS C hips. All right. And there has been countless articles that came out that said, look, oh, with that technology, you can't be tracked. But here it is. They said you can have GPS chips specifically for violent offenders and convicted murderers, citing it as a way to expedite captures following prison breaks. Potential benefits proposed to advocates. It says preventing escapes. Immediate alerts could be triggered if a C-hipped individual breached designated facility boundaries. Health monitoring. Advocates suggest transdermal C-hips could track biometrics, potentially alerting medical staff to emergencies like overdoses or cardiac events before symptoms are visible. Logistical efficiency. Tracking could automate head counts and reduce reliance on manual guard logs. All right, because ultimately, like I said, they want to remove jobs by putting this technology into people. It says potentially decreasing staff error and improving institutional safety. All right, you can continue reading on now. I got this over here from the Telegraph. It says put M chips in prisoners to track them. Tech bosses told minister. And this article was released June 1st, 2026, the year of sellouts. What is it? Sellouts, agents, and apostasy. All right, and Jacob's trouble. So micro C hips could be inserted under offenders' skin to track their movements, tech firms told the prison minister. The proposal for subcutaneous tracking was put forward by the tech bosses as a way of monitoring the behavior and health of offenders 24/7 and real time. All right, it was part of the discussion last summer between Lord Timpson, the prison's minister, and some of the world's biggest tech firms on what a technology-enabled justice system could look like in 2050. And we ain't got till 2050. All right, all it takes is one cyber attack, one false flag, one major national event that will put them in position to be justified with putting this technology into prisoners and those who are free. It says other suggested initiative revealed by the Inside Time, the prison newspaper, were self-driving vehicles to transport prisoners using AI to predict the risk posed by individuals and robots to contain inmates in jail. Look what type of world Esau wants. This is Esau's gods. These are Esau's idols. Robots, chips, technology, science. All right. Those who are held to believe that what is it that Christianity is the mark of the beast and all that, man, you far from the truth, dude. When you look at Esau's spirit and how he moving forward, it's technology. All right, it's innovation, it's AI, it's robots, it's this biometrics. This is what Esau got cracking. It says firms present include Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Palantir, IBM, Serco. All right, these major tech companies is what's getting this technology in order. So once Esau push it, it can run seamlessly, which runs private prisons in the UK. Damn. These companies run private prisons in the UK with the event hosted by Tech UK, the Industrial Lobby Group. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit. Technology enabled justice. The minutes released under the Freedom of Information laws show tech bosses were asked, what could a digital data and technology enabled justice system look like in 2050? The proposal involve how real-time behavioral monitoring and subcutaneous under the skin tracking could support health and behavioral management. All right, look, let's go down to GPS. GPS tags currently enable probation and police to track offenders 24/7. Think about the ankle monitors. Have allowed officers to locate criminals at scenes and crimes by cross-referencing their movements with the timing of a offense such as burglary. They're also used to enforce exclusion zones where offenders are barred from approaching their victims. Recent legislation used the technology to create zones which known offenders are not allowed to leave. So they just run it across comparisons on how, these leg monitors, it helped out the police, a lot in regards to these convicted felons. So what does that technology look like once it goes under the skin? They have more surveillance and more power. Now, when you go in here to the prophecies, it speaks about that this technology is going to be on everybody except the elect, of course. But let's go ahead and get into it. Revelation 13:16, and he causes all. He speaks to these Edomites who's currently in a position of power, ruling the earth in wickedness, small and great, all right, rich and poor, all right, people that's on different social and economic levels in the society, free and bond. So let's go ahead and go into this word bond here. Bond, going back to the Greek word doulos, a slave, a bondman, man in servile condition. That's a person that's in jail. So Esau is going to present this to a lot of prisoners, and it's going to be desirable because, like we were just reading in this article on how the ankle monitors, it allowed, the police departments, to basically track and trace and trap these prisoners. So once that technology goes into the skin, they're going to have way more power. They're going to be able to, like we were reading in this post over here, where it go? We had brought it out just moments ago, where it can have real-time behavioral management. Let me look up something real quick. See? Behavioral management is a systematic approach to modify and maintaining desired behaviors while reducing negative ones. You see what it's saying? So they have the power, if a person was a thief, kleptomaniac, person that just steals, with that technology in them, they can go on that laptop or whatever device they use and they can program this dude to not even want to do that shit. It's crazy technology. But back here in Revelation 13:16, it says free and bond. So prisoners is going to be introduced to this. And we already seeing it. All right. And once it's introduced to prisoners, they say, hey, look, you in here for a 50-year bid. You could take this technology. You can get out right now. It's going to be a lot of prisoners that are going to say, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and take it. Especially when Esau sell it to them with that whole, it's the size of a grain of rice. It's real quick. It doesn't hurt, right under the skin. You can take this, you can get out of jail, and you'll be have access to regular jobs, housing, so on and so forth. Because remember, Esau, he deceived the world, man. One of his swords is deception. And deception is going to be used to push this technology. So let's read this from the top, Revelation 13:16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that technology in their right hand or in their forehead. Now let's go ahead and go into this word mark. We've done it several times, but you got newcomers that ain't heard this. So charagma, right? A stamp, an imprinted mark. This is something physical. A stamp is physical. An imprinted mark is physical. Okay. thing carved, sculptured, graven work. All right, a mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the it says antichrist, but it's anti-Messiah, which this system is an anti-Messiah system. Okay, they completely adverse to Yahweh Shai. Right. Let's go to Psalms real quick. What is it? 2. Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage? A heathen is any nation outside of the children of Israel. And the people imagine a vain thing. And the heathen, when reading this article, is imagining a vain thing. Look, we wanna put this technology in these prisoners, and we want to be able to watch them in real time, 24/7, and we can monitor their behavior and health, and we can track, trace, and trap. It's a vain thing, amongst other numerous vain things that they want to set forth. You know, one of which is 15-minute cities. All right. UBI, Universal Basic Income. So on and so forth. It says the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. So the rulers, the kings of the earth, they set themselves. You know, they have these meetings, these summits. They come together. They're trying to figure out a world plan for world domination. And the council is against the Lord and against his anointed. And that makes you an antichrist or anti-Messiah. Okay? So this technology that people was going to be convinced to get, it shows you that you're a follower of Esau, not a follower of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So let's go ahead and go into the etymology, which means root of the word karax. It goes back, karagma. It goes back to the Greek word karax. A pale or stake, a pal side. Now, when you copy and paste this, let's get some visuals. Of course, it's not a car. Now, when you go into fencing, right, or wooding, right, you see how this pal side, it comes to a point, right? This is a pal side, a wooden stick that come to a point. Now, when you look at this spiritually, go here to RF. Okay, when you go here, you look at the instrument used to put that charagma or that mark in, you see it comes to a point, just like a wooden pal side. All right. And these lessons is for the elect, the remnant, the Israel, the Most High. And you got people with this technology in them already. Look at this. Look, it's already in them. So that's the word karax, right? Now you go into the etymology of the word karax, it takes you to the word grapho, which means to write. So you got a system that stores your personal data, and to access that personal data, you got to have that technology in you, and that's the world Esau wants, where you got to have that technology in you in order to buy and sell. So let's go ahead and go back. I know I'm going fast, but keep up. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. Buying and selling deals with commerce. Say if he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now the name of the beast, the nation of people that rule this kingdom, because that's what the beast speaks to, a kingdom. When you read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, it speaks about these 4 kingdoms, the Medo-Persians. No, you had the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. Those kingdoms were looked at as beasts. These 4 beasts, these 4 kingdoms. Let me actually get it real quick. Daniel 7:17. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall rise out of earth, and kings have kingdoms. So when it says the name of the beast goes into the nation of people, the name of the nation of people that rules his kingdom, which is Esau. And like we went into that word charagma, it said the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah, antichrist. Esau is completely against righteousness. He's coming after the working of Satan with all signs, power, and lying wonders. And this technology is a part of his lying wonders. So back in Revelation 13:17, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the technology, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All this is synonymous. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding, which is a member of the hopeful elect, count the number of the beast. But it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6, which goes into the universal product code. All right, each one of these devices is going to be linked with a unique number so that you can access that grapho. All right, access that data, access the system that Esau is setting up. Already, all these data centers that Esau's putting up all throughout America. All right, in order to have access to them, you got to have that technology in them, and Esau's going to be putting that technology in everybody except the members of the hopeful elect. Now let's go into the judgment. Revelation 14, the next chapter, and 9 says dooms for the worshipers of the beast, worshipers of this kingdom, ruled by Esau. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his technology in his forehead or in his hand, because that technology, you can go in the brain with it, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So those that take this technology is going to get destroyed by Yahushua. In fact, we know the day of the Lord is nigh, and it cometh hastily, because this technology is being talked about. Eventually, it's going to be made mandatory. Verse 11. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Why? Because Esau is going to have power to monitor the behavior of an individual with that technology in them. And what does the Lord have to do with a person that got that technology in them? He's going to destroy him. So I just wanted to do an MOTB update. Like I said, I seen bros speaking on this, so I want to ride that wave. All right. And hey, put M chips in prisoners to track them. Tech bosses told ministers. So Lord willing, you're edified. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us the truth. Shalom, Akim. Stay watching. Shabbat Shalom.